Swiss watches are great. There's plenty of reasons that the Swiss-made tag has such a heavy-hitting meaning in the watch world. I won't lie though, I rarely miss British brands celebrating what they bring to the table. We're a tiny nation that punches well above its weight in the world. We have class and brilliance when it comes to engineering and design. Above that, we have a daring can-do attitude that is completely unrivaled. A brand that is bringing that passion back into British watchmaking is one that I've met a couple of times, and I've admired their pieces plenty. It's Edward Christopher. The brand's creator, Sean, has sent me in his personal Manta to show you guys today. My name's Jason. I'm your watch guy today. Let's have a look at it. For me, Edward Christopher is a brand bringing true meaning back to being a British watchmaker. Their specifications hit well above the price range that they are playing in. Their build quality is rivaling serious Swiss watchmakers, and their designs are incredibly beautiful. I think this Manta is the ideal everyday tool piece, but it packs in the beauty of a dress watch to that dial. As you may expect, this is a fully functioning dive piece with an inner rotating bezel and 200 meters of water resistance. However, they've achieved that in a way that I have never seen before. Both crowns are not screwed down, and that's pretty weird when we come to a dive piece, but they have triple gaskets to ensure that 200-meter water resistance, as well as ensuring that you are completely capable of using those crowns when you need to. The dial is absolutely stunning, with incredibly bold indices and a beautiful kaleidoscope guilloche pattern throughout the dial. They offer in plenty of different colour options. My personal favourite was this sky blue. When I saw it on Sean's wrist, I saw it hitting the light perfectly and really offering something completely different. Hence why I told him that was the one I needed to review. The sad fact is that this one does have to go back to Sean because obviously he needs something to wear at his watch shows, but I've absolutely loved having it in and wearing it, and it is going to be a hard pill to swallow the day that I have to go to that post office. The casing has a lovely sports aesthetic to it, with a brilliant level of brushing through the sides and upper lugs, as well as a chamfered polished edge to add a little bit of class in there. It still carries out that overall dive look, even though it is a 40mm diameter and is only 11.3mm thick. Overall, it wears beautifully, and that's why I could see this as an everyday tool piece for me. On that note, I will mention that this is Sean's personal piece. It is a prototype. It is not perfect. It has seen a bit of wear, so please excuse any marks that you may see in the images. Before I go on and tell you about how much I love this dial and how it is my favorite part of the watch, let me tell you a bit about the mission of this brand. Yes, obviously the aim is to create premium level Swiss powered watches that look and perform well above what the price may suggest. This one comes in at less than $1,000 when you use the discount code that I have left in the description. Edward Christopher also have an aim to help less fortunate children, with 10% of their overall profits going directly to charities in that area. I highly recommend that you head over to the website and look into their story and Sean's personal story a little bit more, because it is one that definitely hit home for me on a personal note, and it's something that I think a lot of us would relate to. Without getting too emotional about it, I'll say that this is a win-win for everyone. If you decide to purchase one, you get an incredible watch at an incredible price, and charities benefit too. Now let's talk about that incredible guilloche dial and the accents that it has. The gradient colour towards the centre makes this an absolute beauty to look at, and I love the fact that they've matched that sky blue to the enamelled finish on the crown, while the bezel crown is distinguished with a bright red. All of the indices are applied and they distinguish themselves brilliantly with black borders to really make them stand out. Those borders do so much for the legibility of the piece, as well as following into the handset and really giving a nice accent throughout. The inner rotating bezel surrounds the dial with white numeral markers. They've also distinguished the 12 o'clock with a triangle bordered in a red tone that matches into the 15-minute dive counter that you can see up to the 3 o'clock. The kaleidoscope effect definitely draws you into the handset, which is also very classic dive style, being bold and legible. Exactly what you want to see on a dive piece, to be honest. The sweeping second hand is powered by an SW200 movement, showing that they've definitely opted for the best they possibly could in this watch. It's not often that you see a Microbrand with an SW200 below the $1,000 mark. Now, the loom shot is another thing that they have executed perfectly. The indices, the handset is all well applied. They give that real dive presence in low light situations, as well as continuing the super legible aspects of the watch. They definitely haven't half-assed this one with the BGW9 application. The band is very appropriate for this piece. It is a custom FKM vulcanized rubber strap with quick release spring bars and a quite substantial buckle to match. It shows that everything that they've done here, even into the band, is completely their own design, their own custom thoughts. The stitching aspect to it definitely adds a little bit of class, and it fits beautifully to my 6¼ inch wrist. I think a lot of that will be down to the 47.6mm lug to lug distance that we have on the casing, but that little added comfort definitely helps. It is a pretty difficult watch for me to criticize considering how much it's actually offering for the price. I'll be honest with you, personally, I think this should be around double. This is usually what I see from Microbrands at the 1.5K mark. One thing that I will say, I am a fan of the logo. However, I think they could have gone without the actual brand print on this one. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of having someone's name printed on a dial, and maybe that could be a sticking point for a couple of us. Personally, it's not one of my sticking points, but I had to offer something here. Otherwise, I'm obsessed with the dial. I am obsessed with the casing. The bezel is fantastic. I think this could be one of the best pound for pound value pieces on the Microbrand market, and it just makes it even better that it's a British brand that's doing it. If you want something a little bit different, but something that still offers that Swiss standard of quality, Edward Christopher is definitely the way for you to go. Thanks for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it. And it's been fantastic to finally have Edward Christopher on the channel. It's been about 2 years in the making. It's also nice to see a brand that wants to give back from the outset, not just releasing limited editions for charities, but the entire brand is set around helping people. And even though they're doing that, they haven't massively increased their profit margins through the pricing. They are linked in the description, and remember, I have a discount code for 10% off. That is JTWGEC. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more watch content, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.